between the media and left-wing ruling class that says, no, we'll decide the fate.
It seems that what the Founding Fathers wanted is fought against until it best serves the party in power. For example, I don't think the Founding Fathers, when it came to the right to bear arms, were talking about AK-47 automatic assault rifles and armor-piercing shells.
No, I think what they wanted was that people have the right to defend themselves in their home. That was very important to them because you had the British soldiers that entered these people's homes just willy-nilly, and they wanted to guarantee that people could defend themselves. And also militias. They did believe in militias because sometimes if there was a problem, I guess militias took the place of like a police force. If there'd be a problem and the government can't come right away, and yet there's a danger, so you have a state militia or a local militia. I think that's what they wanted. As far as all these gangster type machine guns, I don't know that they wanted that.
You know, look at all the violence we're seeing in schools these days. It seems that nowhere is anyone safe in America. And yet you have America going out everywhere saying that we're the police, we're here to police the world and keep peace around the world, and they can't keep peace within their own country.
Well, we are safer than most people think. This is a big country now. There are about 325 million people, and you're going to have a certain percentage of crazies. And I don't know if the percentage of crazies has enlarged, but there are certainly more crazies because there are more people. You know, when I grew up, I think we talked about a population of 120 million. We're now at about 320 million. That's more than double in my own lifetime. And so there are a lot more crazies out there, and there's a lot more availability and access to these things. But I don't know if we're such a wild society. I have to tell you personally, although that does bother me, I myself have never encountered the wildness that people think is emblematic of America. It's been a pretty consistent, predictable life, and you just got to be careful. The only place where it is a problem is in the schools. This is just devastating because the school is not where you think, and that's something that we have to address.
Looking at the big picture, do you believe that the war on terrorism is as quelled as the government would like us to think it is?
No, we have big problems, and I think that at least here, there's overseas, we're never going to be able to stop all this terrorism because a lot of it is Sunnis against Shiites and Shiites against Sunnis and Iran against Iraq. This stuff has been going on for so long, it's so complicated, and the barbarism is just beyond belief. What we have to do, though, is to protect America, which we can do if we would take care of our borders, and if the President Obama, would allow law enforcement to they call it profile, that's fine. If he would allow law enforcement to profile who we think are the most likely people to perpetuate terrorism, I think that we could stop a lot of it. And the demographics, the most likely is a young Muslim male from overseas steeped in all of this Islamicism. And that was the exact case up there in Boston. These guys should never have been allowed to get as far as they did. But the Obama administration has handicapped. They've tied the hands of law enforcement, if it's local police or FBI, saying you can't profile. So when all this information comes from Russia and from all of these places that basically say, these are the guys, go after them before they do what they do, they're not allowed to because that's profiling.
Do you think that America is too politically correct?
Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous. We're more concerned about what the sensitivity and the honor of Islam than we are about saving the lives of our own people. You have the first moral job of government or anybody who's in a position of responsibility is to save the lives, the safety, the health of the people who they have been entrusted to protect. And that's more important than worrying about, well, this Muslim group thinks, well, maybe we're not sensitive enough, we're not giving them the honor. That stuff pales in comparison to the need to protect innocent people. Look what happened at Fort Hood. Look what happened with the Times Square bomber, the Christmas Day bomber. Look what's happened in Boston. This is so many cases, Seattle. And all of these could have been averted. There were signs with this fella, Nidal, Fort Hood. There were signs that he was on the wrong track. He was reading the wrong material. He was speaking too much about jihad and things. They should have stopped him, but they didn't because political correctness. So what happens? They chose political correctness over the lives of these 13 people and 40 other people that were wounded. This is a complete perversion of priorities and responsibility. It's immoral.
You would have thought that with the events of September the 11th, that lessons would have been learned. Safety factors would have been implemented. The law enforcement community given the ability to do their job. But what I see is, 9/11 happened. We lost a lot of people. But we're too politically correct to do anything about it. How do we change all that, Rabbi?
You have to have the guts. You have to value your life more than you value political correctness. The NYPD, the New York Police Department, they know exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. They've been handcuffed by the political correctness, and a lot of this goes to the Oval Office. It's President Obama. President Obama, he wrote this in a book before he was president, way back in one of his biographies. He has 2 books, and he said that if ever he would be elected president and the winds were against Islam, he would be there to protect Islam. So he has chosen Islam, the sensitivity, the honor, whatever it is. He's chosen that over his first responsibility, which is to the American people. This is a gentleman who said that the purpose of NASA is to reach out to Islam, to Muslims, to make them feel good. That's not the purpose of NASA. NASA was to do outreach, to reach out to the galaxies, the cosmos.
That's right.
Now, he has a soft spot for Islam because he was raised there that way, his family, his madrasas, fine. But as President of the United States, you take a vow to protect the people. That's the first job. And we've had a lot of problems during his tenure. All these things that we mentioned before, these bombers, and that's because his priority, he seems to be more concerned about guarding and safeguarding the name, the reputation of Islam, more than protecting the American people. So we've got a problem on our hands.
All right, Rabbi, please stand by, sir. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exonation, Rabbi Areyh Spero is my very special guest. He's the author of Pushback, Reclaiming Our American Judeo-Christian Ethos. And when we come back, I will give you the websites and how you can get a copy of this book by our very distinguished guest this hour. Once again, the Rabbi Areyh Spero. Stand by, Rabbi. We'll be back on the other side of this news break. Exo Nation, don't go away. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Exonation Rabbi Areyh Spero is our special guest. He's the author of Pushback, Reclaiming Our American Judeo-Ethos. It is available here, the two websites, pushbackamerica.com, and for all the rabbi's articles, www.caucusforamerica.com. First of all, Rabbi, thanks for joining us tonight. It's a crazy world. We are looking at injustices. We're looking at countries that are bending backwards, in my opinion, to meet the cries of the politically how can I best phrase this? Those who come in under the granting of immigration, and I'm not talking about the southern border here, sir. They come to America. They are treated as an American, and yet we seem to be at war with these countries going back to the other side, and I don't understand it at all. Like, how can you have the best... In my opinion, the immigration laws are a joke. You know, you've got what's going on in the southern border. You've got all these people who are coming into America from other countries, countries that should be a concern to governments, but it seems that for some reason or another, they just don't get the scrutiny that they should. I find this very alarming. I find that the problem...
Well, that's purposeful. It should be alarmed. All of these things, immigration, protecting the borders, they're first and foremost the obligation and responsibility of the executive branch of the president. And the president has been here now for 6 years. He hasn't done a thing to really secure the border. It's more than a sieve. You talk to people from Texas and Arizona and New Mexico, and they're just miles and miles of unfenced, unwalled areas where you can just walk across. And he says he's going to secure it, but he says that, but he knows that he's not going to. This is part of Obama's desire to transform America, to change America. The way you do it, he keeps bringing in, he allows all of these immigrants to come in. He knows that they're going to vote for the Democrat Party because that's the party that's going to give them all the freebies that they're coming for. And that's how you transform America. You nullify the votes of many hardworking people by bringing in thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people that are going to vote for those programs, for the people that will give them, the liberals who will give them these programs. And that's how you take a country away from the people, a country that was built on the idea of accountability, personal responsibility, hard work, and you take it away from them because you've brought in a demographic that's coming specifically to be catered to and through our work. problem with political correctness is that for so long, this country, I don't know, because they feel guilty, ashamed, for whatever reason, we just look at one thing. How will people look at us? Did we treat this minority group right? Did we treat that minority group right? And we forget that we also have responsibilities to our own families, to our safety, to our protection. And I think that's, when I talk about the ethos, we've got to return to an ethos of confidence where we value our life